As you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States.
John Deere, the green and yellow icon of American farming, just pulled the plug on American manufacturing. While Trump promises to bring jobs home, Deere is quietly sending production out. A brand new $55 million plant is being built in Mexico, not Iowa, not Illinois, and Trump's response? A 200% tariff threat that just rocked the political and farming world. If you move jobs to Mexico, Trump warned, your tractors will rot on U.S. soil. This isn't just about trade. It's about trust. Deere's decision blindsided rural workers, the same people who built the company and backed Trump in 2016 and 2020. Now, they're asking, is this globalization or betrayal? Automation? Cheaper labor? Strategic relocation? Deere says it's just business. Trump says it's a red line. And the rest of America? Caught in a battle between corporations, politics, and survival. So is this just the start of a bigger collapse? Or is Trump finally losing control of U.S. manufacturing? Join the conversation. Do you believe Trump's policies are helping or hurting U.S. manufacturing? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more in-depth analyses. Number 5. John Deere betrays its Heartland base. It started with whispers in Iowa. Then came the hammer. John Deere is shifting key production lines to Mexico, reducing American output of skid steer and compact track loaders. For decades, cities like Dubuque were the beating heart of Deere's empire. Now they're being strategically downsized in favor of lower-cost global hubs. The company framed the move as a long-term global strategy. But for many in the Midwest, it felt like a corporate betrayal. These aren't just machines, they're the lifeblood of local economies. A green and yellow logo once symbolized stability and pride. But it's triggering fear. Trump didn't waste time. He stood in front of a group of farmers, pointed to a row of John Deere tractors, and declared, "If you abandon American workers, we'll slap a 200% tariff on every tractor you make across the border." But John Deere didn't back down. Executives cited rising labor costs, fragile U.S. supply chains, and the need to stay globally competitive. They argued the Mexico plant would only affect a small portion of North American production, less than 5%, and that most large tractors would still be made in Iowa and Illinois. Still, local suppliers, trucking firms, and component manufacturers aren't reassured. Even a small shift in production can create a ripple effect, disrupting contracts, jobs, and regional stability. The total number of jobs affected remains unclear, but the uncertainty alone is already rattling communities. And it's not just about jobs. It's about dominance. Trump built his brand on protecting U.S. industry. Deere just tested that brand publicly. If Trump caves, his economic platform looks hollow. If he escalates, he risks damaging the very economy he claims to defend. So the question now isn't just whether jobs are going to Mexico, it's whether political will can stand up to corporate scale. Number 4. Wall Street wins, workers lose. When Trump fired off his 200% tariff threat against John Deere, the assumption was simple: markets would recoil. Deere's stock would tank. Shareholders would panic. But instead, the reaction was muted. The stock dipped slightly and then recovered. Wall Street wasn't worried. Because to investors, this wasn't betrayal, it was brilliance. Deere's move to Mexico is a masterclass in margin protection. By relocating even a small segment of its production to Ramos Arizpe, Mexico, the company slashes labor costs by over 70%, avoids regulatory hurdles, and positions itself closer to booming agricultural markets in Latin America. In countries like Brazil and Argentina, where commercial farming is scaling fast, Deere's new location offers logistical efficiency. Faster exports, lower shipping costs, and easier access to parts distribution. To shareholders, that's not a gamble, that's a growth strategy. The irony? While Trump aims to punish companies leaving America, Wall Street often rewards them. Deere's resilience on the stock market is a signal to every multinational: play global and the market will back you. But here's where it gets dangerous. Even though less than 5% of Deere's production is moving to Mexico, the optics and the incentives matter. If investors see higher margins and minimal backlash, other U.S. manufacturers could follow. Caterpillar, Polaris, Kisa, all watching, all calculating. Meanwhile, the American worker, especially in Trump-leaning rural communities, is left in limbo. Rising part costs, delayed service times, increased machine prices, and worst of all, no clear replacement jobs. Trump's warning was loud. Deere's silence was calculated. And Wall Street's reaction? That's the real verdict. In today's economy, patriotism doesn't drive profits, optimization does. So here's the real question. Can Trump still scare CEOs into staying? Or have the markets made him irrelevant? Number 3, jobs aren't going to Mexico. They're gone forever. While Trump blasts John Deere for shipping jobs to Mexico, here's the brutal truth. Those jobs aren't going to Mexicans, they're going to robots. Inside Deere's plants, both in the U.S. and the new facility in Mexico, automation is taking over. Welding, painting, assembly, logistics, all increasingly handled by machines that don't sleep, don't strike, and don't ask for benefits. Even if Trump were to force every factory back on U.S. soil, there's no guarantee the jobs would follow. A 2019 report by Oxford Economics estimates that up to 20 million manufacturing jobs worldwide could be eliminated by automation by 2030. Deere isn't running from America. They're running toward a future where labor is a liability. At the center of that vision is Deere's autonomous 8R tractor, a machine that needs no driver. It uses GPS, cameras, sensors, and AI to navigate fields day and night with zero human input. Launched in 2022, it's not a prototype, it's production-ready and already operating in test markets. The same goes for Deere's See and Spray technology, which uses computer vision to distinguish weeds from crops in real time. Or their Operations Center, a cloud-based software platform that lets one person manage hundreds of acres from a tablet. Trump's promises of bringing jobs back sound great at rallies. But they collapse under the weight of technological inevitability. Even if Deere reversed course, reshored every machine, and rehired every worker, robots would still be cheaper, faster, and more reliable. This is the twist no one wants to say out loud. The biggest threat to American jobs isn't outsourcing, it's obsolescence. And no tariff can stop it. Deere understands this. That's why they're investing billions into AI, automation, and digital agriculture. Not to eliminate people, but to survive a global race where the competitor isn't just China or Mexico, it's a machine that never sleeps. So while Trump battles the last war, Deere is already fighting the next one. Number 2, the trade war trap is back. Trump's 200% tariff threat against John Deere wasn't just a message to one company, it was a declaration to every U.S. corporation expanding overseas. Pick a side. America or the global market. But global trade doesn't respond to ultimatums. During Trump's first term, his sweeping tariffs on Chinese goods triggered a full-blown trade war. Retaliatory tariffs on soybeans, pork, and industrial equipment devastated U.S. farmers and manufacturers. The Federal Reserve later estimated the trade war cost over 300,000 American jobs. And now the risk is back. Deere's expansion into Mexico might seem small, less than 5% of total North American output, but symbolically, it's massive. If Trump follows through with tariffs, Mexico could retaliate. Brazil, where Deere has made major investments, may reconsider trade openness. And other countries might reevaluate partnerships with firms seen as politically volatile. The Deere business model isn't built for tariff warfare. It relies on lean supply chains, cross-border assembly, and rapid parts movement between the U.S., Mexico, and Latin America. Disrupt that flow, and you're not just penalizing Deere, you're throttling thousands of related businesses and logistics providers. Yet Trump's strategy resonates with his base. It taps into real economic anxiety and frustration with globalization. Rural voters, many of them loyal to Trump, see companies like Deere shifting production as abandonment. For them, Trump's threats feel like justice. But for Deere's executive suite, it's a firestorm. They aren't just navigating tariffs, they're dodging political volatility, market instability, and rising global competition. The danger isn't just financial. It's structural. If Trump wins in 2024 and imposes sweeping tariffs again, he may break more than trade deals. He could fracture the global operating model American manufacturers have spent decades building. Deere might be the first domino. If Ford, GM, or Caterpillar follow, it won't be a trade dispute. It'll be a full-scale economic realignment. Number 1, John Deere's real endgame: replace the farmer. Everyone's focused on John Deere moving some production to Mexico. But the real story isn't about geography, it's about the future of labor. And in that future, the farmer is being replaced. Deere isn't just outsourcing. They're automating everything. The company's autonomous 8R tractor doesn't have a cab. No steering wheel. No driver's seat. It's not a prototype. It's an operation. Equipped with GPS, LiDAR, cameras, and AI, it can plow fields day or night without a single human hand. But that's just one piece. Deere's See and Spray system uses computer vision to differentiate between crops and weeds, spraying with pinpoint precision. Their cloud-based operations center lets one person manage an entire farm remotely, using satellite data, yield models, and automation scripts. The result? Fewer workers, fewer errors, and far fewer jobs. And Deere isn't alone. Monarch Tractor is pushing driverless electric tractors into vineyards and orchards across California. C&H Industrial is investing in full fleet automation. Farming is shifting from physical labor to algorithmic management, and it's happening fast. Trump talks about bringing jobs back. But even if Deere moved every plant back to Iowa tomorrow, those jobs wouldn't go to humans. They'd go to machines. Robots don't unionize, don't sleep, don't make mistakes. And Wall Street knows it. Here's the brutal truth: the jobs are not being stolen, they're being deleted. And the communities most vulnerable? Small rural towns, Trump's own base. These farmers aren't just facing foreign competition. They're facing extinction by automation. Deere is no longer just a tractor company. It's a tech company. And Trump's threats can't stop software updates. So while he shouts at Mexico, Deere is quietly building a world where farmers won't just be fewer, they might not be needed at all. And in that world, tariffs are meaningless. Final thought. John Deere's move to Mexico isn't just a betrayal, it's a symptom. A symptom of a system where cheap labor, automation, and global logistics beat out patriotism every time. Trump's 200% tariff threat? Bold, loud, but maybe too late. The factory jobs he vows to protect are vanishing, not to Mexico, but to machines. And now, even America's most iconic brands are pivoting to survive, not to serve. This is bigger than Deere. This is about whether any U.S. president can truly stop the collapse of domestic industry in a world run by algorithms and global capital. So here's the question. Is Trump the last defender of American manufacturing? Or just another politician shouting into a storm of automation and global capital? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're serious about the future of American jobs, hit that subscribe button now.